Hello guys. Today I'm not gonna be doing a collab because right now it's morning is 3:31 in the morning, so I gotta do this fast, and I'm not gonna make this a movie. If you're wondering why I didn't make a thumbnail, it's because I've been having problems with my laptop, so I can't make a thumbnail yet unless it's fixed. So it's gonna be a couple of weeks or days or even months, I'm not sure, until it's fixed. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started. Right now I was just watching a good movie. You can all watch them. Let me show you what I was watching. What if Naruto was Prince of Konoha? Okay, let's start. The 7 Sins of Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki has a... Wait, let me check first if I have to do this. Okay, it's Naruto X Hinata. I had to check. Naruto Uzumaki has a very powerful secret. Well, more like 7 deadly secrets. On the night of his parents sealed the QB into him, 7 people from another world were sealed into him by the Shinigami. These people are known as the 7 deadly sins. Naruto just gotten away from an angry mob of villagers, and now hiding in the forest of death, looking for shelter, when he stumbles across a temple Uzumaki clan origin. Single drop of blood from his arm that got cut by a tree and unlocks a temple, and he finds inside will shock all of the Hidden Leaf villagers. When he finds 7 individual weapons that belong to the 7 people sealed inside of him. Unaware that it was an archangel that placed them there for the beginning. What will happen when Naruto meets the 7 deadly sins? And how will they keep him a powerful shinobi? Let's start the story and you will find out. Okay, I just want to ask you guys and tell me in the comments, do y'all drink milk with cereal when it's hot or cold? Because I love it hot, but not too hot, like about 30 seconds or 1 minute. When it's not too hot, it's like a little bit hot, like not extremely hot or anything like that, where it makes it soggy. It's like the temperature, it's like in the middle. As you can feel right now, you're just sitting down somewhere and then you can feel it's not either too cold or too hot. If that makes sense. Average. Yeah, so that's how I put my milk, because I don't like it being cold, because my milk is inside the fridge and I have to put it in the microwave. So I am shocked that people do that. I thought that we're supposed to warm milk, but people are different, so don't judge. What if Naruto had the seven deadly sins powers? And credit goes to Aaron Hensel. Let me tell you what the title is. The 7 Sins of Naruto. Naruto X 7 Deadly Sins. As in Naruto, the character, not the show. Chapter 1. Meet the 7 Deadly Sins, secret revealed, and the new strength obtained. I gotta sleep at 5. I have gotten, ever since I started collab with Kosho, I call him Show, when his full name is Kosho, it's that I have been sleeping at 5. Oh well, tomorrow, my school, we have this celebrating this thing, where we all can sleep, or in class, whatever, I forgot it was called, but oh well. Okay, now let's start. Naruto had just narrowly escaped another beating from the shinobis and villagers during one of their yearly fox hunt. Let me check if I'm recording. Okay. Fox hunts. as he managed to climb the fence of the training ground 44, more commonly known as the Forest of Death. And if you're wondering why I'm not gonna put the description of my new channel stuff and why it did not work, it's because I had to delete it for the something, and I wasted all my money on boosting that server. Then I boosted my friend's server with Kosho. So we're gonna use that server for the main one. So once you can join, but until we're done with it. Right now we're not even finished with the server. We're getting help from Vegeta T23. Shout out to him. And what's his name again? I forgot. But you might have heard me in one of his videos. I forgot his name. Oh, well, let's start. Let's continue. Naruto kept walking around looking for shelter somewhere in the forest when suddenly he came across a temple. But when he went and they opened the door to get inside, he noticed that it wouldn't budge. And if you're wondering, I gotta stop ranting. The 7 Deadly Sins, I do not own this picture, so everything goes to the credit to everything any images and all of that. If you're wondering what that is, it was a scam. I have touched that in my other phone, in my other iPhone 6, whatever, I forgot it was Pro or Max Pro, I don't know. It was probably Pro Max or something. Yeah, it got hacked, so I had to get an iPhone 12 Pro. So, okay, I'm not trying to flex. If I'm trying to flex, I'm sorry. Let's continue. Naruto then saw 7 symbols on front of the door, as he then looked at the symbol on his left arm and notices they were just the same. So it just shows all the 7 deadly sins symbol. The sin of wrath, the sin of pride, the sin of goat, the sin of sloth, the sin of, I don't remember all these sins. This is all we got. One more. We need the sin of envy, sin of sloth, or I'm not sure, and the sin of, I forgot his name, the sin of fox, and this one, I forgot, the sin of boar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I do not remember all of them because I have finished watching the 7 Deadly Sins and the manga about a little bit months ago at the end, so I'm not gonna spoil it unless y'all want me in the comments. Just tell me. Now let's continue. Naruto then said to himself, How about that? I wonder, what would happen if I did this? Naruto then spread the blood from his arm that had the same symbols at the door in front of him that got cut on a tree branch. A large resounding click was heard as a giant stone swang open, and there's 7 stone pedestals were 7 weapons: a war hammer, a dagger. Wait. A bow, arrows, a crystal orb, 3-section staff, an axe, and a spear. Who has a bow in the 7 Deadly Sins? Like, seriously. Let me search up. Oh, yeah, and so tell me how your days was in the comments. Is it like the Archangel's powers? Oh, it's Gothers. I completely forgot about him. I forgot about his mind-controlled things and his weapons, and his hammer is for her. And arrows, a crystal orb is for her. If you don't know, she's holding a crystal orb. A dagger, it's probably from Bon or Meliodas. Wait, not from Bon, it's from Meliodas. Okay. a 3-section staff. Okay, I don't remember all of them. It's his bond. An axe with a spear. This is his. And a spear, and this is his. This is like the one his brother got stuck in the nether place, or the demon king. This is not a spoiler because it's in the thing. You can watch it, whatever you want. Let's continue. Sorry, just keep on ranting. It's just that I'm bored. Plus, I keep on ranting when I'm bored. Each pedestal had weapons name and names of their previous user, as Naruto read each one and said, interesting. Lost Vein, previous owner, Meliodas, Dragon, Sin of Wrath. Definitely like me. Rita, previous owner, Escanor, large Sin of Pride. That's definitely Sasuke, Teme. Harriet, previous owner, Goat, Sin of Lust. That's obviously Ino. Gideon, previous owner, Deanne, Serpent, Sin of Envy. A lot like Sakura-chan. Chastaful, previous owner, King of Sloth. Sounds like Shikamaru. Morning Star, Aldan, previous owner, Merlin, Boar, Sin of Gluttony. I remember her now. Gluttony. I thought it was Boar. Okay, now I'm pretty sure that would be Choji. Korhao, previous owner, Bonds for Sin of Greed. That's definitely Kiba Baka. Naruto then went to reach for one of the weapons, and then suddenly they began to glow as if they were reaching out the power of their previous owner. The 70th sin then appeared before Naruto as Meliodas stepped forward and said, "So, you're the one who's been given our sins." Before you even ask, what is a sin? It's a power derived from magic. The 7 marks on your arm are these sins. It's a manner of speak what type of curse. You're only able to control one at a time. From now on, we're going to train you how to use the same powers and weapons we once had. For now, I'd suggest not accessing the Sin of Wrath. That's actually the most dangerous one, and I would know because it was my sin. I am a former dragon Sin of Wrath and 7 deadly sins, leader Meliodas at your service. You look hungry. I'll cook you some eat. All the other sin yelled and said, "No! Don't eat his cooking. It's terrible." Bond then grabbed the spatula and frying pan from Meliodas and said, "Listen up, Meliodas. You might be the leader of the sins, but you suck at cooking, remember? I'm the cook. You're the leader, as Elizabeth is a healer and waitress, remember. Your place is in a kitchen rent. Your job's to gather ingredients, not burn them to crisp." And Meliodas said, And did you forget who exactly is the owner of the boar hat and had you as a cook to begin with, Mom? Oh, that's right, I am. It's my tavern, I'll run it how I see it fit. If it weren't for you, you'd still be sitting in a prison cell back in Britannia, starved and waiting for execution. Bond said, "Oh, please. We all know that I managed to escape because Deanne is a giant and busted me out of before they could even put me on trial. As always, I got lucky. Listen, kid, if you want really cookability to start with, why not train it in my sin first? Former fox sin of greed. Bond at your service." I'm sleepy. If you're wondering why I'm not uploading for that long, for this long, let me show y'all. Hey, don't look that. For this long, wait, one day, it's been one day. Okay, that's for my recommendation. Why is there in there my recommendation? Oh. Okay. I'll teach you everything I know about how to be an incredible thief and break into heavenly guarded place without getting caught. I also be teaching you how to use a sacred weapon, core house, or I'm just gonna say three staff. I'm just gonna say three. When I say three, just know it's bond power. Or I say three section staff or a staff. Three staff, okay? Three staff, that's bond's power. Or a weapon, I mean. I forgot about the other weapons right now, and let's start training. What do you say, kid? You're interested? The other sin then said, hey, what about us? Don't act like we're not important either. Escanor then said, forgive me for interrupting, but I do believe that the young man's first priority should be get some rest first and Miss Elizabeth heal his injuries before he does any strangeness that might further injure him. I don't sound like Escanor. He already fast asleep, so shall we take him to the room upstairs for some rest and begin his training tomorrow? And Merlin, please be a dear and close your temple door so it's not freezing cold in here. We don't want to unwanted guests now, do we? And Merlin said, sure thing, Escanor. I'll even use my magic to enforce the locking smith mechanism and place a magic barrier around it so it had your present for praying eyes. I sent someone watching us from their desk right now with a similar object like Morningstar Aladdin. Naruto then yawned and said, probably just the old man Okage trying to find out where I am again to ensure that the Naruto Fox hasn't been free. Yeah, I know, shocker, isn't it? I'm the host of a powerful demon that everyone in the village hates and blames me for because I keep them from it and containing it. See this whiskers like birthmark on my cheeks? The people of the village are always under the expression that I am the demon fox because I was born the same night it attacked and are like flock of sheep full of manipulative sheephead. The same ignorance has now been inbred within their own children as well, but I don't hate them. Rather, I pity them. King then said, the kids got the right idea. Yawn. Gonna take a nap for a while. See you guys, whatever. I'll wake up and help to train the kid. Good night. Naruto fell back asleep and would eventually woke up next day fully healed and ready to train. As Elizabeth was healing Naruto's injuries, she couldn't help but feel sympathy for Naruto, but at the same time, she wanted to do whatever she could to protect him from the villagers as well. Elizabeth then said, guys, I think it's better we keep him here until he's strong enough to fully defend himself and master all our abilities and weapons. Geez, my back has been hurting all day. I should go to a massage guy. I'm too scared for those places massage people because they always do those and then a and then you feel a and then imagine your face, or imagine if they did your leg, you'll be broken. It's like my sister, she does like a it makes your bone break, makes you feel like everything in your body's breaking. What I mean, you see what I mean? After fully healing Naruto's injuries, I also pitch in tech and teach him healing magic as well. At the least, he's basic of it first, the more advanced spells. After fully healing Naruto's injuries, Merlin and Escanor carried Naruto up to the guest room of the temple and tucked him to bed. They decided to have a team meeting. As Melita said, all right, everyone, we all want to train him in our abilities and weapons, but we need to come up with a schedule of how we are able to make it possible without fighting each other. Training begins tomorrow, and we need to decide whose sins would be easier for him to control and volunteers, and Escanor said, the sun will be up tomorrow, so I'll train him in how to use a lion's head of pride, show him the basics of how sacred axe that works. I thought that Naruto, Ino, Shikamaru, and all of that were going to get the powers of 7 deadly sins, so I was kind of not wanting to do this video because of that. And if you're wondering why I'm talking so low, because everyone in my families are asleep. And I don't want to make them up because I don't want to get whooped. If my mom finds out that I was awake at this time, I'm dead completely. No, I'm not even dead. But she knows we got those things tomorrow. But she loves me sleeping. She likes me going to bed at probably 12, not over 1. I did some screws that I was able to sleep over 10 and 11, so yeah. But not over 12. Over 12 or 1. When it hits 1, I can just go to bed. I had to just lie my way out until she could just trust me. That was when I was in 6th grade. I'm in 5th grade. Then Miss Deanne can teach him how to grow and shrink so he could learn how to use a warhammer Gideon. Anyway, afterwards I suggest the other train him in their respective weapons and ability as well. The sin of wrath being the last one to train him in, and Meliodas said, do you have a good point there, Escanor? You're more powerful during the day than you are at the night. The rest of us will train him in order of the sins. Just first pride, then envy, then sloth, then lust, then greed, then gluttony, and lastly, the sin of wrath will be last. With a plan, action ready to train Naruto in their magic powers and weapons. The following days were going to be quite interesting for Naruto. As the more he trained with them, the more like a family he would see them as. If you're wondering why I'm reading so slow, it's because... Okay, how has it been 20 minutes? Like when I'm doing a collab with Show, it takes so long. Like it feels like I'm staying there for 20 years or so. Like it feels like I'm I don't know how to explain this. Like it was too long. The video was too long. Let's continue. With a plan of action, ready to train Naruto with their magic powers and weapons, the following days were quite interesting. As Naruto, the more he trained with them, the more like a family he would see them as. And who would be courageous enough to fight the 7 strongest people in the world? Well, every Jonin and the Hokage in the village, of course. Sadly, the Hokage would eventually learn that there's far stronger forces than a tail beast power so strong they could erase the entire village without trying. One of the certain, Konoha just invoked the wrath of sins, a punishment I easily avoided without consequences. Training with the sin of pride, Escanor. I tried my best Escanor voice. Tell me if you like the voice stuff. This is the one that I'm planning on doing. I'm probably gonna do all those what ifs one day. So please do not rush me. I do not like being rushed at all. Not even once. Unless it's my mother who tells me that. Okay? Oops, wrong place. The next day, Naruto woke up in a place he was unfamiliar with since the last thing he saw and remembered. Oh yeah, and I went all the way up in Roblox and whatever. I had a picture of a what if that I did. Oh, I found that on Instagram. Of the people in the chairs and all of that, and the guy singing. Yeah. Like there was something I forgot. Yeah, I had this, what is it called again? Yeah, I took a screenshot of a photo. It was a what if. What if Naruto was God God of gods. He's basically has Shazam's powers, or I don't know, because I haven't read it. Chapter 2. The next day, Naruto woke up in a place he was unfamiliar with, since the last thing he remembered was escaping the village of Shinobi in another one of their fox hunt trails. After he remembered coming across 7 Ninkyo weapons and meeting 7 people who owned them, Naruto then sat up and said, "Whoa, it feels like I just had the craziest dream that I had 7 powerful abilities that aren't normal. Was it a dream? I wonder." One way to find out. Naruto then pinched himself and said, "Ouch. Okay, it's official that wasn't a dream. It was real, that actually happened?" Wait, there's Naruto the Magic Lord? Damn, Naruto the Sage of Heavenly Light? Escanor then walked, carrying his axe, and said, "Ah ha ha ha. Of course it wasn't a dream, young man. My name is Escanor, former son of pride, at your service. Before we begin our training in my magic abilities, now I know your name." And Naruto said, "My name is Naruto Uzumaki." "Isn't that axe heavy, Escanor-sensei? I noticed that it's awfully large. And how can you carry it?" And Escanor said, "Well, my young friend, just one of my abilities. While exposed to the sunlight, I can increase my muscles' strength to lift things as heavy as my axe. I even use my axe to set a blade fire with my ability called Sunshines, which I should explain more about once your training begins. Follow me, please. We have so much work to do." Naruto and Escanor then went outside where the sun had risen. About the forest of the hidden leaf, as Naruto could somehow feel the power of the lion sin of pride coursing through him. Naruto then said, "Whoa, the sunlight feels so intense, almost as if it's making me stronger. This is what you're talking about?" And Escanor said, "Yes, it is. I want you to focus on that power flowing through your body and speak the word sunshine. And sunshine. This will increase the size of your muscles and strength." Naruto then raised his hand to the sky and did as Escanor said. The next thing he knew, his entire body grew the same height grew at the height and body build of the 4th Raikage. Naruto said, "Whoa, this is incredible. What else can I do with your son's power, Sensei? What can I do? What else can I do?" Seeing the excitement to learn more about his sin of pride continued to show Naruto more of his power as he held up his pointed finger and formed miniature suns on his fingertip. Escanor then said, "Using sun sign power, you can focus it through your entire body. That can make you you're stronger. Can make you stronger, yes. But as you seeing right now, it also got many offensive ability. For example, there's another ability called Cruel Sun. I can't say that. Ability called wait. Like I was looking for another YouTuber that I forgot. I forgot his name. Like, he was my best YouTuber. I had to do it because I don't know how to say that word. I'm gonna save it so until he says Cruel Sun. Escanor then said, okay, I already said that. You can form a ball of fire and energy the size of a mountain or an entire planet, Earth itself. The only downside that is more powerful attack, the more magic used up. It's a double-edged sword that can be last resort. And now for showing off. There's one thing you should know about my sin of pride, and that is a thing it got a limit about 12 hours. Once the sun goes down, you're completely vulnerable and at a disadvantage, so use it wisely. Now watch and do exactly as I do. Escanor then formed a mid-sized ball of fire in his hand and threw it like a baseball at the trees and set it ablaze. Again, I need to do something. Okay. Set it ablaze. Naruto then watched as the entire tree was reduced to a pile of ashes, and the ground completely scorched. Naruto said, "That was amazing! Okay, it's my turn." Focus power into a palm of my hand, holding it, and then Naruto throws it, and the ball burned a trail torch through the fire as the ball of flame exploded. Naruto then said, "That's fun. That was fun. What's next?" And Escanor just laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, you're a fast learner. You catch on every quickly to new techniques. Alright, next is how to properly use my weapon. Sacred axe, Rita, answer my call." Escanor axe then flew to his hand and he grasped it in his large hand and he said, "Answer me." Okay, I already said that. Divine Axe Vita. This is a weapon are my extensions of my own, it able to absorb sunlight, setting it on fire and making it more powerful. Along with being an axe, it also doubles as a spiked Brada's knuckles and a short headed spear-headed. Kind of like a sword and an axe in just one. It can easily cut through anything. So even if you separate it from it, all you must do is simply call it name, and it shall return to your hand, and only you're able to possess it. And any other person who's tried to lift it, it will be great struggle because of how heavy it is. Escanor then raised his axe to the sky as a blade then set itself on the fire, and then sliced through the large tree that was 100 feet tall and more than 50 inches wide, like a hot knife through butter. Naruto then said, "Whoa, that was incredible. The tree was enormous and you cut it through like it was nothing awesome." And Diane said, "It's pretty cool, sure, but my secret weapon Gideon can destroy entire fields with a single swing and cause earthquake and even destroy entire mountains. But even that's nothing compared to what Meliodas does full power counter is capable when he's in assault mode." And Escanor said, "It's quite true. There's been times we've seen Meliodas go full power demon assault mode and destroy the entire forest without even trying. Which is why, in the last scene, you will learn to use this in battle. The dragon sin of wrath isn't one to be taken lightly. If you lose control of your emotion, potential risking destroying everything and everyone around you. It's the most powerful sin in the 7 deadly sins in existence." I need to sit up upright because I kept on reading bad. Only one other individual power came close to match it, the Archangels and Demon King. And Naruto and Escanor continued to train for the remainder of the day until the sun began to set, which Diane took his training and would enjoy putting him through the ringer as she put it. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Naruto and Escanor continued to train for the remainder of the day until the sun began to set, after which Diane took over his training and would enjoy putting him through the ringer as she put it. Naruto would tell he wasn't going to enjoy her training with how big and a sadistic and devious grin she had on her face. If only just on how strong a giantess Diane really was. It was a good thing that the trees in the forest of death were taller than Diane in comparison, but she still had enough strength. Two strange strangle the life out of even the chief toad, Gamabuta, and choke out the nine-tailed fox with her bare hands. Naruto then looked at Diane and saw her twirling warhammer. Gideon was in all too excited way. Why do I feel like your training isn't going to be easy as Escanor Sensei was? I can't tell that I'm in for a world of pain, agony afterwards, aren't I? After this, I'm just going to eat or fall asleep and wake up at 8. Let me see if my alarm clocks are ready. Okay, if you're wondering why I do this, I just put all my alarms on. So and then if I miss one, I just wake up later. I don't want to keep on scrolling through my camera and all that. That I gotta say, please watch this guy, Core7. Please give him more subs. He's a good guy. So yeah. I can tell that I'm in a world of pain and agony afterwards, aren't I? And Diana said, yes, you are, Naruto Uzumaki. If you think Sacred Axe Rita is heavy. Boom! Diana then slammed her hammer into the ground as sound creating a small enough crater. It shook the earth as she said, Weapon Gian is heaviest one of all the 7 weapons that there is. Don't think that even Escanor's power you could lift it. But for now, I'll give you more hands-on. The training lesson is how to use my magic. You see, my sin of envy magic lets me become strong and creates giant pillars of earth and stone with the bare fist. How do you think this temple was built to begin with? Your clan had help from us ever since the foundation of the village in Whirlpool Country. You could say that the magic and the chakra are similar but different the same time. Now dodge this, you little runt. Why is she acting like this? Oh well, Naruto was then forced to run and dodge all Dian's fists and pillars of stone that erupted from the ground. After the day he ended, Naruto was exhausted between using Shansan's power to defend himself with Secret Axe Rita and Cruel Sun Spell. He went over to Elizabeth, who healed his minor injuries. As Bond came over with his dinner plate, as Naruto slowly enjoys his dinner with his new surrogate family. I wish I just could eat Bond's food because anime food like anime ramen just tasted banger. Like, bro, you know how they just make the ramen just look so good in Naruto? And it has that thing in it. Oh. And then just imagine you go into, what's it called again? Food Wars. You will be eating all day because all of those food are good. Like, seriously. Okay? This is the best meal I ever had in a long time. I'm almost tempted to say that it could give Ichiraku ramen for his money, literally. Hey, Bond, will you teach me how to cook? I'm not messing up recipes like Meliodas-sama done before. And Bond said, you better believe I'll teach you how to cook, kid. It's basically an essential skill that all SEALs need to know if they hope to survive when on the run. Come on, we can't start training and cooking right now. If you're up for it, we can start training and cooking for right now if you're up for it. I'll teach you all the best recipes and the boar has to offer and how to improve on your stealth and infiltration skills tomorrow morning. Don't worry, my training isn't like the end who methods are direct approach, but you are going to receive some minor injuries and bruising afterwards. And if you think our training is bad, just wait until you train with Meliodas. He doesn't know how to hold back sometimes, and I think he's enjoying going all out in sparring match. He's not the captain of the 7 deadly sins for no reason, you know. He's actually one of the most powerful people you could face on the battlefield and not walk out alive. Oh, okay, I love doing that to people who have headphones, just like screaming near my thing. In some cases, if he feels merciful and lets you live because he wants to put fear in the hearts of his enemies so they think twice about fighting us. And Naruto said, as he steamed the pork pot of beef stew for dinner, "Whoa, he really that strong? Well, I guess I'll just have to step up my workout regain if I am going to be able to use all of you guys' powers at the same time or individually. Yo, I'm in chapter 2 and I'm already having problems. And how many chapters are there? Few. There's about 9 chapters. Okay, after that, the stew was ready. What do you think, Bond Sensei? Should we take it on the table? Bond then studied the stew and noted it was perfect. He said, almost too good, or too perfect. Bond's eyes widened in amazement and said, "This is incredible. What else did you add the recipe? I have to keep up. I have to keep up so I can keep a record of it." Naruto said, "I didn't add much. Anything else, just except a few herbs and spices like garlic powder, paprika, and chili peppers, plus a dash of oregano to balance everything out." "Why?" Bond said, "Kid, I think possibly the best beef stew I ever tasted. Even now I made something this amazing. Even I have never made something this amazing before. You really have talent for cooking, you know." Naruto didn't get it. Yeah, but he just earned the praise and accepted all of the sins to their new assistant chef of the tavern. Later, Naruto know that the side skills of his will draw the attention of quite a few girls in his graduation now from the Shinobi Academy. Girls like Hinata Hyuga, Ino Yamanaka, and even that trash can, to his surprise. Okay, her name is Trash Can, to a surprise. Although why did I just say that name? Sasuke probably would never acknowledge Naruto for his cooking skill and Trash Can. He would attract the attention of many women, none of the less. One thing certain was Naruto was scratching the surface of each Sin power abilities, and he already made great improvements by the leap and bounds. It would be long before he was training with Meliodas personally, and that was going to be the biggest sparring match yet. Bond was right about one thing. Naruto was definitely going to be struggling when he found out Meliodas to master the basic sin of wrath, the most powerful of them all. I need to drink some water. I just wish I could just skip one whole entire part. Because I'm too lazy. I don't want to give up like my other friends. Like, how am I at 40 already? I really need a back massage. Because my back has been hurting a lot. Like a lot. Now let's go to chapter 3. Training with the Bond, this fox, sin of greed. Bond Fox's sin of greed was many things. He was greedy, a thief, a skilled warrior, a deceiver, and many other things. But the only thing he actually been in his entire life was a teacher to someone else, let alone a kid. As Bond and Naruto are standing outside the temple hidden by Merlin's magic, Bond prepares to teach Naruto his first lesson as he said, Alright, kid. First lesson of thievery. Never get back what you have stolen. Second rule as thievery. If you're stolen, it's fair and square, it's yours. Third rule of thievery. Never let your guard down, never grow attached to others. The final rule of thievery. Always know when to avoid a fight with someone stronger than yourself. There are most important things for any thieves must know. A survival given the occupation of choosing ninjas are technically considered thieves themselves. We're a lot like you and me. We both had a rough childhood and refused to die. We both heal faster than most people, and we both technically foxes. You contain a giant fox, and I'm the foxing of greed. So this is going to be very fun. Show me what you have learned from Escanor. And Deanne, I'll give you a little heads up about myself. My abilities let me steal the strength of people I can come in contact with. My magic ability is Snatch. With that, I can steal anything from anyone and anywhere without fighting the person in front of me. So, are you ready to be bitten, fellow fox? Naruto just grinned evilly at Bond said, "Oh, I see. So you unknown sap the power from your enemies, even if you're stronger. Then you outmatch them in terms of strength." Well, I should tell you, I'm quite the trickster myself. I pulled off 1,000 of pranks around the village, and not has anyone ever caught me afterwards. Well, except for the academy teacher, of course. I've been told I can be an unpredictable at times. As the old saying goes, a cornered fox is a dangerous fox. As Bond said, "Haha, I like your style, kid, and you aren't wrong. We fox can be very dangerous when we cornered. Let's begin." Meliodas then said, "Why do I have the feeling that Bond is going to enjoy this more than we are? I've only ever seen him like this when he's telling me to fight. I'm most kind of jealous." And Gunther said, "Well, Captain, I guess it's been because in a few days, Naruto and Bond share the same tragic history of being an orphan. Naruto who are hated, though their circumstances are different. I'd be curious about the boy and about his emotions and about his memories for some old reason. I was unable to manipulate them. While inside his mind, I came across a giant golden cage, curiously getting the better of me. I entered it and I saw what should be impossible, a giant nine-tailed fox, size of the entire castle. Its a size would easily tower over Deanne, most of the Camelot and Leonis. It's strange because I've never felt such an ominous presence, with such immense power that easily rivaled the 10 Commanders. Total strength combined and power level. Even the 5 Ten Commanders would be defeated in a single attack by the creature's most power. But I also send of 2 other souls, most likely the boy's parents. Tell me something, Lady Merlin. Is such a thing possible to seal away of a one more individual soul into a person body before dying themselves, plus a demon?" And Meliodas said, "I'm not entirely certain how it's made possible, but in theory, it's not impossible either. For you see, in order to perform such a task, two things must happen. First, the entire victim of the soul being sealed must be lived near death attempt. Second, the individuals must either make a deal with the death, willing to give their own souls in exchange to be sealed with the soul of another person's creature into intended host soul, or the host body. Either way, whatever process was containing a demon of the size you mentioned. It shouldn't be physical possible without some form of magic ability or artifact to seal the demon into a person." Meanwhile, with Bond and Naruto and Bond were exchanging blows with each other as every hit and Bond landed on Naruto's body, he drained the chakra from him. Yet the life of him, he was afraid to take too much of that power and didn't know what was stopping him exactly. If Bon knew the true extent of the Nine-Tails powerful chakra, he would have definitely gotten mad and eventually died from its poisonous chakra. Bon then picked up his scared weapon, course 3-section staff, and said, well, I'm impressed. Most of the people would have lost all their energy by now. You have a great deal of power, tucked away that you're not fully aware of. You know that? Power so great you could destroy half an entire city, or worse, a continent, if you lost control. But I guess it's connected to your emotions and your strong will to survive anything that's done to you. See, the captain is similar to in that regard. His sin of wrath is so powerful that he once lost control of it and destroyed an entire kingdom in his rage and anger. If you want to control those enormous amount of power, you have to control your negative emotions first. You do that and you should be just fine. I'm pretty certain that we can work out around that stuff. Just be careful who you use it around. I just want to tell you that I don't even know, is Minato that strong? Because they say that he can fight the 10 Commandments, so that means that they're stronger than him. So the Nine-Tails is strong, extremely strong, so that means he's double strong, or whatever strong, to match up to the 10 Commandments. So just want to tell y'all. Like, this video has been becoming so easy, like 1 hour. And on a past shows video, 2 hours. Never show all your skill to the enemy. We'll find a way around them. We're done for today. Go and get some rest, and we'll continue training after lunch. Rapidly healing immortality. Call it what you want, but it has their limitations. Naruto and the Sin went back into the temple, where Naruto was chasing after the talking pig, saying how delicious it would be taste as fried cutlets. Eventually, Naruto captured the poor hawk and stuffed an apple in his mouth, and he said he was about to throw a little pig over on open fire to cook. Meliodas managed to save Hawk before he could make the new lunch. After untying the poor pig, Meliodas said, as annoying as Hawk can be, I don't think you should cook him alive. I think he needs to be glazed with honey and pineapple first. Then I slowly roast over on open fire. And Hawk said, what? You're kidding me, right? Please tell me you're joking about that, right? And Meliodas said, maybe I'm not. But with as hungry as he looks, I'd say you're going to be the main course anyway, unless you do a little favor for us, nothing life-threatening. And Hawk said, why do I have a feeling that this is actually something I won't like? As Naruto said, I need you to be my practice dummy. Naruto then pulled out a sacred axe reader and spammed in his hands and put it on Hawk's face as he panicked and passed out. Meliodas then said, well, were the scarce taxes really necessary now? Where am I going to find talking pig that can easily consume the floor scraps without complaining? Good help isn't easy to find, And Naruto said, come on, Sensei. I was really going to cut him open and cook him. I was going to tenderize him first so the meat wasn't so tough and lean. I would have happily slow roasted him a whole if you want to do that instead. Diana then showed up and said, did someone mention slow roasted honey glazed pig for dinner? Where? I'm hungry. What happened to Hawk? And why exactly are you raising a scared axe Rita over his head? Is he getting cooked for dinner? And Naruto said, well, I did have 2 good recipes ideas for dinner tonight that I thought Bon would like to try. Only ingredients missing is one in front of us with a big mouth and rotten attitude. Meliodas won't let me cook the loudmouth pig because he's our garbage disposal. If Bon wasn't so fond of him, I'd be cooking his pink backside right now. Guess I'll have to find a regular pig from the forest to cook for dinner. Tonight, Naruto then ran into the forest to search for a large pig to cook for everyone. An hour passed and Naruto was seen using Escanor's power to howl two dead giant boar back to the temple, when he then used sacred axe to the skin and hide and cut the intestines such as the liver, kidneys, heart, stomach, and lungs. He then saved all the pigs' bloods that he drained in the events that Merlin could use it for potions to making other magical users such as ritual spells and require animal blood. After all was said and done, and Naruto finished cooking lunch for everyone and they decided trial. Sadly, Hawk stayed outside for fear of being cut in half by Naruto. Needless to say, Hawk's opinion of Naruto was spent keeping his mouth shut around him when he knew better than pissing him off. Sadly, Hawk wasn't able to get out of being used as a training dummy for target practice, and just dealt with the pain. At the end of the day, after Naruto tested his training on Hawk. After lunch, he had Bon continue training with the sun left down. King then said, "Now then, since Bon is done with being greedy with your training, perhaps you should train with me next. I am the fairy race. I'm from the fairy race. On my current appearance, I'm currently quite powerful than spiritual. But I'll show you when we begin your training tomorrow morning. I'm not a late afternoon person to be up at dawn, so I'll wake up myself." Bon then said, "This is going to be interesting. I can't wait what kind of training King will put the kid through." One thing that was certain, the Sins were putting Naruto through training like they promised they would. Sadly, he didn't expect the training would be intense and exhausted. Next part. Chapter 4. Naruto had woken up at a time he wasn't used to. That was 6 a.m. And the reason, you may be wondering, is because he had training to do with Fairy King Harlequin. But most people among the seventh sin called him the King. The sin of sloth, Naruto had walked down the kitchen to get something to eat when King surprised him and said, "Oh good, you're awake. For a moment there, I almost thought I'd have to wake you up myself after you finish eating and make everyone else breakfast, and we'll start training. First we'll work on history and fairy race, then we'll work on mastering my Fairy King magical powers. Then I'll teach you everything about spiritual chapel and its origin. But now all I'll tell you is that spiritual chapel has 10 different forms used in battle. Each has its own incurability of healing to multiple and even petrifying people. What happens is I'm just going to skip all these power stuff. Not all of them, like the power stuff. Because y'all know it. Okay, now let's start where important is. And Naruto said, I think so. What you're basically saying is that the more powerful amount of magic used, the stronger the attack becomes a result of the large amount of magic used to cast it. But it also means there could be a drawback to effective using it. Then King said, "That's correct. We've gone over the basics of spiritual works. Imagine yourself lost in a giant forest, and the eye can see. Imagine listening to what the voices of nature and wildfire you'd see, as if whispering in your ear and talking to you. Feel what nature feels and let your body flow through your entire body." The ones in were equally shocked to accept Meliodas and Meliodas, who curiously was not piqued at what kind of power Naruto truly held. Meliodas had said, "Hey Merlin, do you get the feeling that there's something we should look into this about this new development about training with them? They're talking about 9 tails or more. From what I'm sensing, his power level just keeps increasing more rapidly when he could almost match my base full power." Amaro said, "Sadly, I must agree with you, Captain. Perhaps at some time I paid the Leaf Village This Hokage Hiruzen so Toby a visit and found out what he's been hiding from the poor boy about his heritage, and why he's not yet been told about the creature he contains. Oh yo, it's been 1 hour. If you really insist on teaching him about the Hellblaze magic, make sure he only uses it as last resort. Besides, what a dragon without fire. I'll be back later. Don't bother waiting for me. I'm beginning training him this morning after Gotha has finished with them. We might be in over our heads here, so we might not be. I'm going to get the information from the old man or another way. Why don't you tag along? You're the sin of lust, a memory invasion ability that will come in handy. And Gotha said, Very well, Lady Merlin. It's for the boy's benefit of training and shall assist you in personal side missions. Morin pulled out her sacred Tijan Morningstar and said, Secret weapon, Alden. Teleportation. Morin then snapped her fingers as they teleported herself and Gotha to the Hokage's office. Hiruzen was currently doing paperwork. Hiruzen wasn't aware of it. He was about to meet the most powerful of the 7 deadly sins, the greatest mage Camelot has ever seen. He had just poked a beautiful, more fearsome than the nine-tailed fox, Merlin. She made it her mission to uncover those secrets and make those responsible for keeping them pay the ultimate price. Here's a nice different from his paper because he saw a beautiful woman and a young man standing there before him with a killing intent the likes of which he never held before. Merlin looked at Hiruzen and said, Tell your guards to stand down and remove their masks unless they want to completely forget who they are, or worse, relieve their own worst memories. I am Merlin, sin of gluttony, and grand mage of the 7 deadly sins. You have information that I desire, whether you surrender it willingly or you will from it by force. It doesn't matter to me. If you die, your death would be in a minor stone. Now I ask you this one more time. Hold your guard down and remove their masks. Kindly give us information towards the heritage of our Princess Naruto's Maki and the nine-tailed fox he contains. You should know that either nor, my friend Gother, here is a very impatient person. We want something badly enough, we take it by force if we must. What's your decision? I'm more than 3,000 years old, and so are the rest of my comrades, tracing Naruto's Maki. From what I understand, you're afraid of demons. Well, rest assured, I'll show you what a true demon looks like. And Naruto is poor enough to destroy this whole entire village, yes, but compared to what we face, Naruto doesn't come too close to matching his strength. Our captain has the 70th sense, has enough power to wipe out an entire kingdom, an entire country. Even he's the second most powerful sin compared to myself. And Hiruzen said, I'm well aware of your power difference between us, Miss Merlin, is it? But I'm afraid I cannot give information of your question, nor will my bodyguard allow you to request and threaten me as soon as you have it. I'm sorry. I made a promise to Naruto's parents before their death that I'll keep their existence and existence of the knowledge and sealed him secret from him until he was ready. Now, if you excuse me, I must find Naruto. Where are you keeping him, and methods have you done to prevent him from being found by the crystal ball? And Merlin said, You're not the only one with the ability to see locations of other, you old damn fool. I'm able to do that as well, although I'm actually many more levels stronger in regard than you. I've been watching you, just as you have been watching everyone else. Now please, hand over the information we seek, or we shall take it forcefully from your memory. And Hiruzen said, I already told you I cannot do that. Ambu killed them. Merlin said, Foolish man. Gother said, Yes, Lady Merlin, please forgive me. What I'm about to do. I won't remember anything when you awaken later. Sacred weapon, Harriet, blackout. The dark clothes covered the room, and when it faded, Hiruzen and Ambu were out cold. Seeing what happened, he was beginning to have second thoughts about making the strange people wait any longer. Before Hiruzen could say anything else, Merlin cast her most unbreakable magic with them and said, Your weapons are nothing compared to our magic. Perfect cube. Merlin then snapped her fingers as a medium-sized purple barrier surrounded them from all sides. Seeing no way but Houston only hope now was negotiations or negations. I cannot say that word. As he said, just what exactly are you doing once you have the information you requested? In the wrong information, it could put life not at risk. His father made many powerful enemies from his mother, just as many. Before I could give what he desires, I want to know how exactly you know the existence of the non-tails. And where Naruto is, I swear. Merlin said, my good friend Gother here has the ability to see into the minds of even alter to write their memories if he chooses to. A very nice ability that affects the vary from person to person. His magic ability is known as invasion. I'm gonna finish this chapter. For a person who keeping the fox secret, your villagers aren't good at this. You think a clear indication that there's a traitor and a spy amongst your ranks. And cancel. You're already aware of who it is. Take action and do something about it already. Otherwise, the storm will rain down upon your village with our power and fury. We will kill all those who stand in our way. There will be nothing left. And nobody stop us. And certainly, no, not your sad excuse of war you called shinobi. Times of peace had made people weak. What if an invasion for greater than anything you could imagine happened right now? If your village current condition, I'd say have 40% chance of survival with the minimal casualties. Now, taking that in consideration, imagine only 10 people who have the combined strength as an entire army of soldiers. Those are kinds of people we faced. And you have left no options. Go there, extract the memories of Naruto's parents, this man, and replace them with something little more regretful. Huzen was now backed up in the corner and with no way, knew his nuggetation had just failed. He knew that if Naruto trained by people like this, he was definitely not in the position to deny what they requested any longer. Huzen then pulled up 2 scrolls with a blonde seal on them out his desk containing the will of Naruto's parents and everything it was tied to. Mel then saw the scroll of forbidden seals behind the Hokage and said, thanks for the information on the kids helping. I'll also be taking the giant scroll from the kids' family symbols on it as well. Obviously, whatever is inside must be very powerful. As Ethan said, sorry that I cannot allow you to take it as if from my eyes only. Nobody's allowed to read it. Content as everything in that scroll is forbidden. Technique that his wrong hands could lead into our visit being destroyed and lives lost overnight. Merlin said, was now feeling very gluttonously, and she always been aware of the danger of forbidden knowledge, knowing full well what forbidden knowledge was. Powerful knowledge. Merlin then said she lifted her sacred weapon, Aldan, over the scroll. I don't think you're in the position to do so right now. The forbidden scroll seal was sucked into Merlin's magic orb and teleported to the research lab in the basement. She'll find these people made sealing away a demon and 2 human souls in another human possible, and she would find a way to reverse the process. Merlin then said, we're leaving now. Just so your guard don't come looking for us, I'll be imprisoning them as well. This office will be a great sight. Nothing can break this barrier, perfect cube. And Merlin then snapped her finger, and the elbow in the room were now containing with an indestructible barrier prison of unknown origin to Hiruzen. One thing was certain, he feared what would have happened to showed Merlin actually carrying out her threat. And how many lives would be lost, and how many would survive. After a huge eruption of magical energy from Naruto of his training, the king faded, then surprise revealed that the shock away everyone else in the area. Naruto had a blood linger of a very powerful race of fairies running through his veins. He had spout a set of bright blue wings. The wings went from blue to red, then from red to gold, and blue back again, which each color change. King can also assume that the wings were uncure and connected to Naruto's emotions. Well, this is a big surprise. I hadn't anticipated. It seems as though you were closely connected to the fairy and human race than I intentionally thought you might be. I was never actually seen a set of fairy wings that change color based on emotions. But I've heard legends of stories that if a human and a fairy have a contributed genetics with each other, then in any children they would have ultimately be a well-balanced hybrid. My only guess is that one of your parents or parents' ancestors was from a long lost race of fairies hybrid and immigrated from the fairy king forest to fall in love with the human. The question is, which of your parents was a hybrid race? Goethe said then he saw your memories, he saw the night you were born. And your parents dying, you were still an infant. Is that true? Merlin and Goethe then returned with the scrolls and threw it over Naruto. It was his heritage. Merlin then said, it's true. Every single of what Goethe said he was true. Open the scroll and think. I think you're going to find something very important about yourself, Naruto. I'm off to study a giant scroll that I borrowed from the Hokage's office. King then said, you let your gloomy knowledge get the better of you again, didn't you, Merlin? You didn't borrow that giant scroll from the old man. You stole it in front of the old man and his subordinate, didn't you? And why exactly is the word forbidden written in front of the scroll? If you just said you borrowed, and Naruto said, oh crap, not good, not good. This isn't at all. This is the most dangerous scroll in the entire village, and it's forbidden scroll of seals. Every shinobi in the village will be out looking for me, thinking I stole it now. This is very bad indeed. Every single forbidden technique from the previous Hokage are in the scroll. Even one that could bring back the dead souls from the afterlife. Are you crazy? We have to return. And Merlin said, why are you panicking? I've only started reading the first. And apparently your clan's the original owner of this scroll. So by the extent, that means you're technically the own its contents as well. The person of this village had no idea just how much power you're possessing right now. Let's leave it the way until it comes when you actually need to use the lesson we taught you so far. A good thief never reveals all their skills at once. In a fight, would always has an ace up their sleeve. Besides, I'm curious to see how your parents managed to steal the soul plus the fox inside of you at the same time. Naruto then shook a quiver in fear as he said, Merlin said everything Merlin sensei, everything is very frightening. Why do I get this feeling your sin is the strongest, but her power level exceeds your others, Meliodas sensei? Man, Meliodas said, well, Naruto, to be honest to you, I'm the only powerful that the others while in my demon assault mode. Putting myself at whatever, 142 or whatever, 1,000 or 10,000, whatever. Merlin power is at 4,710. So yeah, Merlin's the strongest of the 7 lazy sins, and his magic abilities, no rival except the other ones 4 races combined. In other words, it will take a goddess or a demon and a giant to defeat her. Even while I'm in demon assault, Merlin could still give me a run for my money. Well, almost. The only person beside Merlin that could match my power somewhat is Escanor and his cruel sun spell. King then said, could we please get back to training you now? Now as you focus on the trees, in front of us speak the word disaster. Naruto did as instructed, and before everyone knew, the entire forest spent life as Naruto magic aura once again flared. King then knocked out Naruto by him heads with his spear chasful as all the splinters fell on the ground. King was amazed the immense power he just witnessed. Never in his life, and he seems to have pouched magic in centuries. He should be fine. Elizabeth then carried Naruto into a temple to heal his injuries. After making sure everything was okay, it was fine. Then Elizabeth said, he should be fine. All he needs is some sleep and after a stressful amount of magic being released at all once. It's a miracle he already survived you guys' training. I must survive you not to punish him and to push him any further until his magic power has fully recovered. With as strong as he is certain, he could become very powerful, or perhaps more powerful than all of us combined. Thinking about it gives me the chills. Elizabeth was the idea how right she was in assuming that Naruto would become a god of sins. At first, every primordial to harness the power of all sins, of all 7 deadly sins, his power should become infinite and his skills legendary. One thing was certain, Naruto was growing more powerful every day, and the once an ounce of strength he obtained, the most dangerous and desirable his power would become. King would have to warn him about most important law of the fairies. Never ever trust human with greed intent to make profit. Humans can be trusted only your own people will stand by your side. Okay. I am just about to finish. Okay, I just finished this chapter, and that's about chapter 5. Well, we'll see what happens next. Welcome to Naruto Uzumaki, the 7 Deadly Sins. Next time on Naruto Uzumaki, 7 Deadly Sins. What would happen next? Who would train Naruto next? And would he become the most powerful 7 Deadly Sins character or not? You will have to wait next time on the 7 Sins of Naruto Uzumaki. Make sure you subscribe and like and comment and share this link. And goodbye.